Meanwhile, Meek claims she's been framed for her son's murder. The bail hearing is set to continue tomorrow. Ndogozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
And an entire court day has been lost in the Senzo Meyiwa trial over the wearing of cushions on the leg irons by the accused. The matter has been once again delayed in the Pretoria High Court, where the state was expected to continue with its case. The 5 men accused of the football star's 2014 murder returned to court, but 2 of them refused to continue with proceedings while in pain caused by the iron rubbing against their ankles. Modisa was in court.
Mr. Mncube is saying he's feeling pains that affect his ability to concentrate in the trial, and I'm also unable to get instructions from him.
This was the argument made by advocate Charles Mnisi on behalf of the third accused, Mthobisi Mncube, who refused to come to court without cushioned leg irons. Judge Ratamokwatleng almost made an order for the defense to escalate the cries of the accused to the Judicial Inspectorate for Correctional Services, but the state then asked for 2 hours to consult with prison bosses to see if the wearing of the cushions for the accused could be negotiated. After the adjournment, Correctional Services agreed to allow the men to wear the cushions, but by then, the court day was nearing its end, with just over an hour to spare. The matter continues in the Pretoria High Court tomorrow. Modisa, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
In breaking news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has fired Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Nkabane. Nkabane's axing follows months of controversy over the Sector Education and Training Authority's board appointments that saw several ANC-aligned individuals appointed. A cloudy Tuesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
Great show as always. Thanks.
Great show as always.
Looking to help her side into the semis, and she's been denied. Andile sticks Tlamini with the first save in the shootout, and it's advantage South Africa for the tournament so far, and it's struck emphatically. And Banyana, the defending champions, continue their quest to retain their title, and for the first time they win a shootout at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
The one and only Deshi back tower.
How was that interview that he did with former Orlando Pirates supporter? May his soul rest in peace. All 5 skippers.
What went through his mind? Like the English was something else, man.
You like it for the Pirates. Pirates is not one.
It's not make sure. Whatever it was that he was saying, you didn't make that an issue.
It's all about the guests. It's not about us. We've got to let them speak and say whatever it is they want to say or get across.
Back to Moyo, and he hauls it into the stands. The Junior Springboks, World Rugby Under-20 champions, once again. The long wait is over. The Junior Springboks, Junior World Champions once again.
We had so many Deshi back towers where I grew up from because of the skills that man had, Udeshi. He later got to be known as Ubaba Uschumbana. He really was a role model. He will remain a role model of South African football.
Mkhumbi Khumalo talks about many Deshi back towers that were in this area simply because of you. Again, it's a case of impact.
It is, and you don't realize the kind of impact you have in people's lives.
Yeah.
Where I still get stopped and asked to get to have pictures taken.
That's credit to you. I mean, I know your dad was a goalkeeper, your brother was a goalkeeper. At the age of 9, you were trying to be an outfield player that didn't quite work out.
Correct. Yeah. Gee, Robert, how did you know that?
How do I know that? What do you think we do here?
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, we take a trip around the world. It is #MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go!
The moments you remember.
The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Yeah, that's how the show is going to feel right up until 7 o'clock tonight. Good to have you on a Monday after a very, very successful weekend all around. Taking your calls, your reactions, getting it off your chest in the best way you know how on a Monday. Hashtag MSW is where you are. Coach Leshono Losiema is live in studio. He's going to be coming up and popping in at any time before 7 o'clock. He's paid us a visit, wanting to confirm his new journey. And at the same time, coming up later on, though, we also dig deep into something that everybody's been talking about. In fact, we'll move it forward to right now because that is how important the story is, and that's why we're going to shine a light on a journey that began with boots that were laced in hope and now kind of teeters on the brink and the edge of heartbreak. I mean, from the Cape Flats to the cobbled streets of Spain, they carry dreams stitched into their jerseys. I mean, young players from the BT Football Academy, led by coach Jesse James Julius, very talented, very resilient, and armed with the belief that football could be their passport to the world. Now, that mission, a European tour to hone their skills and also to ignite ambition and open doors. But today, from Lisbon, those dreams are trapped in limbo. We're talking about individuals, young individuals who are stranded, forgotten, waiting. Now, the return ticket that once promised safe passage home, it looks like it's gone. There's no explanation. We've been trying to track the story from when it began. There's no accountability. There's no way back. I don't know what went wrong. Was it a logistical oversight, mismanagement, or was it something slightly deeper than that and more disturbing? And that is why tonight we're going to speak to the man still standing, still waiting with the boys. That's Coach Julius, who's on the line, far from home. And Jesse James Julius, thank you so much indeed. BT Football Academy coach coming through live from Lisbon. Thanks for your time. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Marawa. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for the platform that you guys have created. Really appreciate your time. And good evening to all the listeners.
I know that you've been inundated the entire, 48 hours it has been. At what stage are we at now?
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
I'm just saying that at what stage are we at right now? Before you take us in terms of what happened in the beginning, just a quick one in terms of where are we at the moment, Coach?
Okay, so at the moment we are currently in Lisbon. We are accommodated in a hostel here. So it's myself and two other coaches, together with 25 young people, of which it's a team of 5 girls, 11 minors and nine senior boys.
Are you going to be able to, at this stage, as we speak, at 6:10 South African time, are you going to be able to come back to South Africa?
There's been an incredible team in South Africa that has been working around the clock to ensure, together with the support of all South Africans, to make sure that we get back into the country. And the parents and the people in South Africa has been phenomenal. The owner of this academy has been nowhere to be found. He goes on air and takes interviews and just continues to lie and tries to cover his reputation if there is any left.
Who's the owner of the academy?
The owner of the academy is, I don't even know what word to describe him, but a human being that is called Brandon Timmy. And he has a management team that consists of his wife, Zonique Timmy, and then his mother, which is Gail Timmy as well. This is the management team of this academy, which was once promising, but now has sold people dreams that has turned into nightmare.
So this is the owner of BT Football Academy?
That's correct, yes.
Of which, Jesse, you are the coach?
Yes, I'm the coach, and I was contracted into the organization about 6 months ago to oversee the under-19 team and obviously also the technical operations of the academy. So this was my first trip coming abroad with something that they've been doing for the past 3 years. And now we're stuck in this experience where we are stranded in a foreign country. Kids has paid money to this academy and they cannot travel home.
Okay, make me understand. Obviously, a lot of people, when you board a flight and you go into foreign lands or even domestically, you get given a ticket outbound.
That's correct.
And then you get a ticket as well to say you are back on this particular day, and here is your return flight ticket, and here are the details if the ticket is obviously not ready at the time. But you have a date, you have an airline, you've got all of those things that are set and cast in stone. Was that ever presented to you or any of the players that are there?
So when we arrived at the airport in South Africa, Cape Town, on the 6th of July, which was a Sunday, you could anticipate the excitement around all the families and all the kids, and just wanting to get out of the country because they are about to experience an international tournament, and they are about to journey on a dream that they've been dreaming of for a couple of years. So we were presented with a return ticket at the airport. We flew in two different groups. The first group flew with Qatar, and the second group flew with Emirates. We had all the return details, and we flew off. Obviously, we arrived in Madrid on Monday, and then we traveled to San Sebastian, which is 5 hours from Madrid by bus. Our return tickets was issued to us. However, after the tournament, wanting the information to check in all the kids so we don't have that administrative issue when we get to the airport, we now discovered that there was a delay in the flights. We didn't pay much attention to it. We were told that it will be sorted out in an hour's time. An hour became 2, 2 hours became 3, then it became a day. The following day, we were told that we will spend another day in San Sebastian, to which the kids didn't mind because obviously there's a bit of sightseeing that takes place now. So we left San Sebastian, and we commuted back by a coach, a bus from San Sebastian to Madrid. That was the Tuesday. We were then told that we will fly out when we get into Madrid. The same issue ensued. We were told that there's an issue with our flights. It will be resolved 1 hour. 1 hour became 2, 2 became 3, and it became another day. This was the Wednesday now. So then the coaches started to become alarmed as to why we don't have return flights, but we were issued with it. When we looked at the documents, we then discovered that the return flight was a reserve, but it was never confirmed. And we actually flew out with singles. That's when we took matters into our own hands as coaches. We went to the South African embassy in Spain, and we told them the entire story. The embassy then made contact with the owner or the chairman, Brandon Timmy, and that's where the lies continued because they asked him firstly, how did he get an entire group of 38 people out of the country without a return flight? And he explained exactly what I explained to you now.
But surely there's no logic in all of this. And you said the age of the players is what, Coach?
So the youngest, Mr. Marawa, is 13, and the eldest is 18.
These are kids.
What is more sad is that these families have slaved away since last year when they were made aware of this opportunity for kids to come and play in this tournament, to raise funds to come to this tournament. The tournament cost them 50,000 to partake in, or not the tournament, the entire experience. And the experience included return flights, accommodation, food, participation into the tournament. And if we do the math, 35 kids at 50,000, it brings you an average around 1.7 million, close to 1.8 million. The chairman then gets on a call with the embassy. He tells them that they had to get in touch with governmental institutions for sponsors. Now that for me doesn't add up, because if you put out a tour of this nature and you're a project manager, you would have done the calculations before to see what it would cost you and to see what your profit margin would be. I can tell you from experiencing the tour firsthand, it didn't cost more than R1 million for us to be here this entire time. That would have included return flights to come back to South Africa. He now says that help was needed because when he wanted to book a return flights for us home, or when he wanted to book a flight for us home, the flight prices included increased to 30,000 rand, which is a problem of his own.
That's a logistical problem. I mean, you are taking care of the football side of things. That has got nothing to do with you. Prices can skyrocket at any stage. You know, that's why people book in advance and they save because they've booked in advance. Now, the one thing that I must ask, did the tournament happen? And because this is very thin.
Sorry,
in
Mr.
terms of the
Marawa, I
press.
think I lost you.
Not a problem. I'll repeat that. Did the tournament happen, Coach? And if it happened, how well did South Africa do, or how well did the BT Academy do in that tournament?
I think we done very well for first-time participants. And also remember, these are kids that plays at various different teams that just came together, that would practice once a week, twice a month. And so out of 264 teams, the under-19 team reached the last 16. And the under 14 team reached the last 32. And the ladies did fairly well as well, because they were joined by a team of Spanish girls as well. So I think in terms of their presentation and their presence at the tournament, they did fairly well with all the teams that was competing in the tournament. The chairman, together with the administrative team, was very vocal about how well the team is doing. But when it came to the logistics of us flying out and getting home and the money issues, they just went quiet. When I and the coaches made the decision to go to the embassy and speak to them about what was happening, the chairman in the evening sent me a personal message saying that I threw him under the bus. And he thought that I know how hard he worked to make this happen, and he thought that I had his back. So for me as a person, I'm a believer. I don't stand for wrong, and I stand up for what is right. And I said to him, you telling me that I threw you under the bus. In fact, you threw yourself under the bus. You created this bus and you threw yourself under the bus when you allowed us to leave the country without the return flights.
But how would you have thrown him under the bus?
To be honest with you, Mr. Marawa, the logic of this chairman, I don't understand. What makes matters worse is he takes interviews live on the radio, and he continues to lie to save his reputation. He doesn't come out to speak to the parents, which is in distress at the moment, which is crying because the kids are not home. The kids are not in school. The kids is not in their care. What I can say is that the coaches that are with me, they've been phenomenal in everything, making sure that the kids are taken care of, together with the parents, making sure that these kids are fed, making sure that these kids are also kept in good spirits while they are in distress. Because remember, we're traveling with minors. What further angers me is that the same man owes me a lot of money, close to 50,000 rand, that I spent out of my own pocket on this tour. The logistical nightmare started when we landed in Madrid, because we had to take a bus to go from Madrid to San Sebastian. When we arrived here, we discovered that he never booked any bus services for us to get out of Madrid to San Sebastian. And we were told that we missed the bus. We then, myself and the other coach that was present with all the players, had to walk the entire Madrid airport flat to look for people that can accommodate us to take us to San Sebastian, which like I told you before, is a 5-hour drive from the airport. The cost to take us from Madrid to San Sebastian was 107,000. When I provided this information to the chairman, he didn't have money to pay for it. He then spoke to parents that generously donated 40,000 rand towards this, which now means there's a 67,000 rand deficit that still must be paid. At this point in time, it was 9 o'clock in the evening. A 5-hour drive is going to allow us to get into our accommodation in the early hours at the morning, around 3 a.m. to be exact. I then proceeded to pay the 67,000 from my own funds. We then get to San Sebastian. The morning immediately we have to play at 10 o'clock. We have to be at the facilities at 9. Breakfast was provided in the accommodation that we stayed. together with lunch and supper at the tournament that we partook in. What became more difficult was when we had to check out of this accommodation, meals now had to be provided by the academy, of which the chairman sent one morning, he sent 1,500 rand to feed 38 people in Europe. Now, to me, that's insane. That doesn't even make sense. Now, you cannot feed 38 people in South Africa for 1,500 ZAR. What makes him think, for someone that has traveled Europe frequently, that you can feed 38 people with a 1,500 rand in Europe?
This is sad. I mean, this is terrible. I'm listening to this and I'm literally in shock and disbelief. And if you don't mind, Coach, I'm going to ask you just to stay on hold. I want to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as we wrap things up. As I said, Coach Siama is also here. He's going to be telling us about his appointment. But I think the one thing that I picked up, even in some of the news stories that were being reported throughout the day, Newsroom Africa did a fantastic job as well. You know, Valen Kirtley was out in the streets and she had, locked down one of the parents who's a single mother. And she was telling the story that she's a single mother, couldn't afford this, but was able to raise 30,000 rand, of which she then gave to the organizers of this trip. And the balance of the money, a local taxi organization came to the fore and said, we will fill in for that. A local taxi association coming in. So you can imagine the dreams and aspirations of kids ranging from the age, as Coach said, from 13 years to 18 years, who are now stranded in a foreign country. South Africa, please help. Send us a WhatsApp voice note. Give us a call.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
For the best game viewing, you go to Mpumalanga. For the best whale watching, you go to Hermanus. And for the best in investments, go to Nedbank. Earn up to 7.95% interest with a Nedbank Just Invest account and access your funds within 24 hours. For better returns, go with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
If you're furnishing a new office or expanding and upgrading your workspace, Desk & Chair have the perfect solution for you. With locally manufactured office furniture and desking starting from just $7.99 and a stylish chair range to suit your taste and budget, we've got you covered. Our expert consultants are here to guide you through planning, delivery, and assembly. Visit our Midrand showroom or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk & Chair. Think, feel, work better.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Whether it's a sun-soaked beach escape, adventure-packed tour, or luxury cruise, Flight Center is your go-to for travel. From flights and hotels to tours and cruises, we've got it all. Plus travel insurance for peace of mind. If you want the best deals, you can save more by taking advantage of our Bundle Plus Save offer. Plan your trip today at your nearest Flight Center store or visit flightcenter.co.za. Flight Center, your center for travel.
The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is here. With nightography, you can shoot your best shot without worrying about grainy night footage, even in low light. Get it now for 1099 per month for 36 months on MTN Yellow Plans Deluxe with data to use whenever you want and minutes to call any network. T's and C's apply. Visit an MTN store or mtn.co.za now. Today, we make moves. MTN.
For those who don't wait in line, at Groove, at brunch, or at checkout, because waiting doesn't fit their brand aesthetic. For those who always know a guy that knows a guy, there's Take A Lot More MVP Days. Shop 5 days of exclusive deals, discounts, and coupons on Take A Lot and Mr. D from 25 to 29 July exclusively for Take A Lot More members. Sign up now and get in on the MVP action. Shop the Take A Lot More MVP Days on Take A Lot and Mr. D today.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult at 3,469. Just had a fantastic 2-hour meeting. It was so productive that we accomplished nearly as much as I could have done with one well-written email.
Hating the corporate 9 to 5?
Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's easy and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The one and only Deshi back tower. But what for you though stands out in all of your years in broadcasting? What is that one magical moment that stands out and you say, you know what, this might have changed somebody else's course in life?
Well, look, the interview was good enough because that changed his life.
Good enough. Your dress today, very, very unusual for a man. You like it for the Pirates. Pirates is not one.
Is not make sure.
I remember everybody in the van laughing. So
you had no clue what he was saying?
No idea.
I still think had it been not for that magical moment, yeah, you know the story.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Good evening, Marawa. Good evening to the MSW fans. Marawa, my reaction this Monday, and what a good weekend for South Africa. The Boks, the under-20 doing so well. Banyana going through. You know, though it wasn't a good display, but I think we will be getting a tougher opponent in the likes of Nigeria. Marawa, since speaking of Nigeria, Bafana will be playing Nigeria on the 8th of September. Can SAFA at least take the game to the FNB Stadium so that we can fill it and qualify for the World Cup? Thank you, Temba here from Etembisa.
Well, it's a very heartbreaking story that we're dealing with right now. Coach Jesse James Julius stuck all the way out in foreign land with a group of players 13 years to 18 years old and literally unable to come back home. That is how straightforward I can put it. Now, Jesse, I think we're just trying to piece a number of things together off air. You did make mention of the fact that Brandon Timmy, the owner, his wife also plays a role in terms of the team. What exactly is her role?
At the moment, she's the administrator of the academy. But to me, she wears many hats in this academy. Then she does the financial side. Then she does the administrative side. And at times, she seems like she wants to be the chairman of this academy as well.
Just as a final wrap, because we're gonna keep tabs with this. We're just trying to make certain calls as well off air for various reasons, and to try to come to the aid of everybody, including yourself, Jesse. What's the final thing you want to share with South Africans right now, given your current situation?
So at the moment now, we had the Provincial Minister of Cultural and Affairs of Sport flying to Portugal at the moment. So he's here with us to assess the situation. But like I said again, the kids are in good spirits. They are taken care of. We've received tremendous response from South Africa in helping us get back home. What is sad for me and is continuing to be more heartbreaking is that still Brandon Timmy is rather taking interviews but not telling the parents what is going to happen to their kids. For the last 3 days, we've been promised that every day a group of 10 kids will leave together with the coach. It's only been words for the last 3 days. No action at all.
So I can tell you now, Jesse, and sadly so, I hope he does change his mind and he comes back on the radio, that we did raise him. We did have him actually on hold until you opened your mouth and then he heard your voice and he dropped the phone. So I'm just saying to my production team that we need to get him back on the line. Whether you've spoken or not is immaterial, because there's a number of things that he needs to deal with, and one because some of the parents, one of the parents actually did share a message that was sent by the wife saying that I want to let you know that I will no longer be assisting with matters related to this tour. I've supported my husband in this business wherever I could, mainly helping with administrative work when asked. But I was not involved in the planning or meetings leading up to the tour. This situation has become incredibly overwhelming, and for the sake of my own well-being, I've made the difficult decision to step back. And from this point forward, please direct all inquiries to Brandon. He can be reached on. The email was given, the number was given, and it says, I continue to stand by him wholeheartedly as I've witnessed the sacrifice, effort, and heart that is poured into this academy. So, Jesse, we'll reach out. All I'm saying is, please look after the young ones and look after yourself. And thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. One last thing, Mr. Marawa. I know we are running out of time.
No
but
problem.
he actually made a plea to parents to send additional 15,000 rand to get their kids home. 10 families have sent him 15,000 rand, which is the amount of 150,000 rand over the last 4 days. All 10 those kids of those families are still here with us in Lisbon.
Sure. Jesse, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's address these issues because, yeah, we'll let go of Jesse right now. I want to take Brandon Timmy, the owner of the Academy, who's on the line. Brandon, thanks for your time. Good evening.
Hi, Rob.
What's the current status here, Brandon? Because we have all these kids that are stranded in foreign land under the auspices and under the leadership of yourself, your company, your academy, and they can't come back home.
All right. So obviously there's quite a few things that has been said, and then obviously the reality of the situation is where things have basically gotten out of hand in a way, purely due to obviously where we are, within the tour and how it developed to this point from a financial point of view. We are technically now a couple of days out from the tour, which was supposed to be finished already on the 15th of July. So it's 7 days late already, and that obviously came with big sums of money that we as an organization as well that we needed to cover for certain expenses, and obviously the scenario of players being stuck now in Lisbon was something that from the start, and I can give you a breakdown as to how it got to this point. So
the thing is, Brandon, we might not have the time. We've seen the press release. The stories have been carried. The so-called inflation of the amount of money that you're going to pay now for the tickets for the return did go up within, close to the date of their return, etc. So those facts we do have. All you're saying right now is that accountability rests on your shoulders. And it looks like it's a blame game. But you got kids, 13 to 18 years old, who are stuck in a foreign country. Surely, with what the parents have already paid in the sum of 1.7, they keep adding on and on because they're desperate to have their kids back. It can't be an excuse at every level. You have to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. When the tour ends, how do the kids come back home?
Firstly, obviously, I heard the comment of what Coach Jesse mentioned there about the monies. So even that, Mr. Rob, we needed to now, obviously, with the monies that was paid, we've said to those parents off air that we're gonna reimburse them with those monies. So it's not saying that we are going to in any way keep the monies because there's been an outpouring from obviously the public, and even that sum of monies that was paid to for the tickets, when we got the monies to buy the tickets, the prices already increased. So we were at the point where, and I've had calls with parents as well, where we chatted about we're going to buy the tickets, and then upon purchasing the ticket prices goes up. So we're talking about flying from Europe back to South Africa, and that comes with, obviously, if you've traveled before, the nature of these things, it's always increasing. So it's not a case of us holding on to monies and now people are just giving money. We're going to reimburse them for sure.
But it's not about reimbursement, though, Brandon. Let's be fair. You said 15th of July tournament ended. It's the 21st. Imagine you had a 13-year-old child roaming around in Lisbon, in a foreign land, foreign language, foreign everything, and they're being given the bare minimum to survive. I don't know if you know where they're staying right now. Are you able to share with us the accommodation details?
So that, yes, definitely I can share it off air with you, the location as well. So look, obviously from that point of view, we've tried to assist as best possible. Also with us in our own capacity as an organization, financially, we've also been very much straining everything that we could to keep the players there and still try to get them. And even when we went out to the parents and asked, listen here, can you guys come and maybe help us with additional costs towards the airfare?
Sorry again, Brandon. The thing is, airtime is just as expensive as flight time in the air of aeroplanes. Let me ask you a straightforward question. I mean, can you tell us, this tour, was it funded, and who was responsible for the logistics?
So it was funded by the parents of the players, guardians, and then logistically, I was the person responsible, and which I've said to many media outlets today, that I take responsibility for how things have panned out in this. I'm not hiding around anything. I fully take the responsibility of how things has materialized. I tried my utmost best to ensure that, it was going to be the best of experience, which in the beginning it was. And the way it, got to this point was again down to my mistake, and that's what I've shared to the parents as well.
It's not a mistake, Brandon. I'm sorry, it's not a mistake. Mistakes are about maybe you ended up sitting in a business class instead of economy. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong seat. You move out. Lives cannot be a mistake when it comes to organization and when it comes to something that you can personally be responsible about, especially an academy where kids from underprivileged homes with single parents are given an opportunity based on their talent to go and showcase that overseas. Were they travel agents? Were they intermediaries that were involved? And have they taken accountability of what has happened? Because you can say you're taking accountability, but did you utilize travel agents or intermediaries here?
Yes, when we applied for our visas, we had travel agents that helped us get reservations for that as well. And also obviously consulting them with regards to ticket prices and that. So there's been travel agents that we've been working with. And even so, when I had a chat with the minister earlier this morning, the provincial government in the Western Cape, I said to him that, who the individual was, and he gave them a call. So,
which travel agent was it?
It's a travel agency, Travel NAS. They assisted us with our visa processing of the our travel insurances and those type of things.
Have you used them before?
Yes, we've used them before.
For an international flights and flights involving a group that is this big?
Yes, they've always helped us very well. We've never had problems with them before.
So what then logistically could have gone wrong besides what I'm hearing about an increase in prices just before it's paid? Because, a travel package, Brandon, and you know this, you've been running this academy for I don't know how many years, but you know what it means to travel is you have to have an itinerary where day 1, day 2, day 3, and up until you return from travel going to OR Tambo, including travel on the ground on the other side. So where then was everything lost?
When our visas got delayed, so that was the biggest thing. So from our with what we had experienced in previous tours, we've had visas rejected as well. And basically, what we did before the visa applications, we actually asked the consulate of Spain in Cape Town, why was previous visas rejected? Because with this specific group, we knew, obviously the magnitude of the tournament and what was at stake. And obviously upon applying, there was only limited availability that we could get. So we only basically got our visas 1 week before we had to leave. And already based on past experiences, when buying, tickets, and then you get a visa and it's rejected, you've lost all that monies. And this is monies of kids. It's not my monies. So those things are also stuff that we considered, when making these decisions. But obviously now, as I've said, we are in a worse situation. And that, like I said, I'm the one to be blamed for.
When are we expecting the kids to come back? If I'm a parent now, I'm listening to the show, I want reassurance. When is my kid coming back?
So there's been generous donations from one organization that purchased tickets for 9 players, and then we've also spoken to a few other people as well that also committed to basically covering some of the other tickets along with us. And yeah, basically Wednesday everyone should be back in the country and with their families.
In 2 days' time?
Yes, correct.
All right, Brandon, thanks. I've got to go, both of time. Thanks for giving us your side of the story. All right, thank you very much indeed. Let me comment after this.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW. Get money fit with the Nedbank My Goals Plus account and enjoy up to 2% unlimited cashback. Plus, get up to 30% off on flights, up to 10% off on Apple and Samsung devices, as well as 50% off at new Metro, plus much more. So get your money off the bench. Switch to Nedbank today on the Money app. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Greenbacks membership included.
From 24 to 27 July, Decorex Joburg returns to the Sandton Convention Centre, now spanning 5 halls. Explore over 300 brands, shop exclusive show specials, and discover the latest in interiors, kitchens, bathrooms, and luxury finishes. Experience live interactive demos, expert-led talks, and the Handmade Africa Design Market. There's something for every style, space, and home. Book your tickets now at decorex.co.za or at the door.
House & Home's Big Green Sale is now on, with unbeatable savings on a wide range of furniture, appliances, and more. Like the Hisense 263-litre black glass finish water-on-tap bottom freezer fridge. Only 5,890. Save 2,600. Or save 2,500 on the Luna Neria Pillow Top Queen base set. Just 4,990. The Big Green Sale, only at House & Home until 3 August. T's and C's apply.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers 2 options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it. Monday. If it were a person, it would be that old friend who pitches up unannounced for prize.
Hey girl.
Where you're providing the food and they're providing that drama. It's the day when you open your ice cream tub scuffed in for lunch, only to see that it's actually ice cream. So when you need the 25-hour energy for a day as frustrating as a Tupperware lid that's always missing, grab a Bar 1 and seize the Monday. Nestle Bar 1, energy for a 25-hour day.
Before they buy your car, be really sure. Before they push too far, be really sure. Be really sure. Be really sure. Before you drive in and think what might have been. Before they buy your car, be really sure.
Get to the new Wheelie Mega Store in Midstream and choose from thousands of cars at wholesale prices. Wheelie.co.za, SA's most trusted place to buy, sell, or trade your car.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The one and only Deshi, back tower, Gora Ibrahim. What fond memories do you have of him as a legend, as somebody who's an author now, has a book that is out?
At that time, there were a few centre-backs, Nick Seshweni, for instance, Dan Malasela, where they could actually play. It was quite classy.
You may have heard that I wrote my memoir, and in my memoir, I write about those that inspired me to want to be a better footballer and play at the highest league. So, Dash, I just want to say to you that you were quite an inspiration to me and to many like me.
Gora Ibrahim, thank you so much, man. Beautiful, beautiful tribute.
Yeah, lovely. It definitely brings a tear to your eye. A real touching moment.
Just should give you a few minutes there, Dish.
I'm perfectly fine.
And then a hero comes along.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Oh, Robert, this is a sad story. Please, Robert, I know you, man. Can you please engage Gaten Mackenzie, man, the sports minister. Please, Robert, man.
Rob, this is very sad, and I cannot imagine what the type of distress these parents are going through, not knowing when their kids are going to come back, with schools starting tomorrow. And I just hope legal actions will be taken against this academy owner. But we need to use this as a lesson, Rob, because anyone and everyone is able to open a club or an academy in this country, and it cannot be like that. Why can't we follow the Brazilian model where people have to meet certain requirements to open an academy? Because in South Africa, it looks like it's a free flow, and we could potentially start losing kids through to human trafficking at the rate things are going. And these trips must be sanctioned or approved by an authorized body. Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Jerry, yeah, you make absolute sense. I mean, I've just spoken off air to somebody, I don't really have to mention his name, but he says that we sent 110 boys, under 9, under 11, under 13, as well as under 16, to the very same tournament. He says planning is always key. 110 boys were sent. They back in the country in one piece. Here we are squabbling about money and who paid what and where. Absolute nonsensical stuff. I mean, yeah, like I was saying earlier on, we'll deal with this. There's got to be answers. There's got to be repercussions. We can't just allow this to happen. And my sincere apologies to a coach that's been in studio for over an hour and a half, Lehlonolo Siema, who is the newly appointed Siwelele FC coach. I suppose from the heart of the Free State, you know, where football isn't just played, people live it right throughout. So, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good evening, and again, publicly, my apologies for running so late for our conversation.
Good evening, Brother Rob, and good evening to our listeners. Listening to what happened, Brother Rob, and the story that we were talking about, really, I was clued up. I didn't even see that I've stayed this long, but really, I think and hope that things can be done better, especially when it's there are kids involved, because already the experience that they're having now, are they going to want to continue play the sport when they come back? I really think that I can feel for the parents.
Yeah, I mean, as we were talking, I went on to Instagram and I went on to BT Football SA just to look at, you know, what the academy is all about. But yeah, let me reserve that. Let's not eat into your time. But yeah, anyone who's listening can go in. It's BT Football _SA. It is there. It's got a blue tick. So it's a verified account. I'm sure it's a verified academy. You know, we'll have to dig a bit deeper. But Coach, congratulations, man. I mean, major appointment, big dreams. You come back home to Bloem Celtic. Emotionally, spiritually, where you at?
Thank you, Brother Rob. And emotionally, I want to thank the Almighty One, and He's been so good to me. And I think I'm a living testimony that if we put all trust and you pray sincerely, He'll really listen. If there's a man to pray, there's definitely God to answer. But other than that, I'm happy to be back home, and I want to tell you that it's not Bloemfontein Celtic, it's Siwelele FC. Brother Rob, you need to get that right, because sooner or later you will hear the songs that won't have Bloemfontein, but they will have Siwelele. So, yeah, the vibe is there, and it was my first time at training, meeting the players for the first time in Siwelele grounds, and I can tell you that people are looking forward, exciting players that are there. And the good thing is this is the first team after a long time since the Bloemfontein Celtic was not there. And even the players, I can tell you that the players that you'll see there, you'll see that is the players that they'll carry this team or they play for this team for some time, because there's a lot of young, good talent there. And Siwelele is there, Prarob. We are counted among the 16. And if you can check the log now, we are counted. If you're talking about the team that is on number 1, Siwelele is counted. That means everybody is got first spot position, and we are already testing how it is. So we need to fight to stay as high as possible. We do not want to see ourselves being in the relegation dog battle. That was exactly what the words of the chairman, that what happened last season with in the league. This is the first mandate. I know that people will always ask, what was the mandate? The mandate is to make sure that next season Siwelele is still in the league. And from there, going forward, things will come, Prarob. The new teams, the new coach, a lot of new players, but young players, but yeah, we are there to stay. Siwelele Hoha.
Well, I mentioned it as Bloem Celtic because, if it wasn't about the name and who owns the name, it would be Bloem Celtic because, the minister came on the show and he said Bloem Celtic will be back. Rob, I tell everybody in the country it's going to be back. And we look at it that way because, this was Siwelele and everybody called that because, the trading name was always Bloem Celtic. But let's treat it for what it is, Siwelele FC. And from what you're seeing now, from the dream that is being built right now, Coach Siama, what's the big difference? I mean, what has changed since the last time you walked through those corridors?
Rob, I think I must mention that my chairman, Mr. Calvin John, we have to thank him, Rob, because a lot of promises were made before, and people were hyped up that the team will be back. And I think he did not take long. He came and then he just made it happen. So you can see a lot of energy and a lot of people that are in there that have seen that they can learn from the mistakes that happened in the past. It's the team that is really, really under good leadership that wants that team to stay for the Free State people and to make sure that the Free State kids can still be have something that they can go and entertain themselves with, because a lot of them now, they were roaming in the streets, and this has given them hope. So, Rob, one thing that I can say that has changed is, you see the team that we are relying mostly on the energy that the Free State people and the football lovers that are behind this team and the players that are there. The good thing that happened with this team is that, Rob, we are not taking only players that are in Bloemfontein. It's the team that already has got its own players, and players are going to work hard to make sure that come the next season they are still in the team, and they know that next season definitely there will be change when the team relocates to Bloemfontein. There will be a lot of players. You'll hear as time goes, there are a lot of developments that are happening already now. There are some players that are being scouted in Bloemfontein, and it's not for the next fixture that is coming. Siwelele is preparing for the future, and I want to say, Brother Rob, the way things are being done at the moment, it really is encouraging. And what an atmosphere that was then Bloemfontein to Marcelle. I want to say to them, we really, really thank them for having to attend that meeting. You'll swear when you pass Dr. Mlimela Stadium yesterday that there was a game. That's how hungry they are, and sure. There's one voice in there, Rob, and the song is still there. And what makes me to laugh, Rob, is the guys that when I was playing, they were, the late Pule Malebu, may he so rest in peace, but they started Kids Corner. And yesterday, those kids Kids Corner guys, they were the older ones now that they were shouting and singing. So that was nice that they have taken the bait, and now I said to them, can we go back again and let's go, and now it's time to take our kids and to tell the neighbors' kids to take them to Dr. Mlemela Stadium, like about to sing in the streets so that they can come and enjoy the Siwelele. And the ones that could not sing, Bra Rob, now they are taking it now. They can sing because that they bought his voice is gone. The guys cannot sing anymore. Then that's why we said, Deco, can you come with Scoop? Blah. So it was really nice there, Bra Rob, and we are looking forward. We are working hard, like we're saying. It was the first time I met the team today, but everybody's looking forward. And there's a mix of experience and the youth that is coming, and of course there are guys that are there that they were still gonna have to have a look at it. And credit must go to Coach Andrea Renzi because he has been taking the guys through their paces since they opened.
Sure. For the first time in a long time, I've never heard you sound so positive, so excited, and almost projecting to saying, yay, I have a massive project in my hands, but I've got a familiar project in my hands. I've got a project that is so familiar to me that I know the fans, the fans that were in the kids' corner that are now shaving using their Gillettes, and they're now big men and household names and Abo Mama Noma. So whichever one it is, all I'm saying is that the budget here for the transfer window, you want to beef up, you got a CEO in terms of Stanley Matthews. He is well respected, many years of administrative experience. What's the conversation? What are you buying? What are you selling?
Rob, unfortunately, in this game, if your contract is expired last month and then you had to look for the team because the team was still looking for the coach or there was not clarity what is going to happen. So the players, sometimes they panic and they said, no, let me go look elsewhere. But to answer your question is, I've said that like today is the first time I went to and saw the players. There's a lot of good talent, Rob. They are young, and the other ones, they have 1 year behind them because they played in Supersport last season, and there's some experience that is there. And like I said to you, there's some guys that are trying, and it's more of an experienced guys. So the chairman and the CEO, they said, look, coach, you have our support. You let us know where you think that we need to beef up. But in short, yes, Rob, I've asked, and then I'm allowed to say, okay, look, I think here we can beef up, and I'm not going to rush because these guys that have been there, they need to be given a chance and to be looked at thoroughly, and I'll heavily rely also from the information from Coach Andre. And in few days to come, then that's for sure. There will be some names that will be dropped, and there'll be names that you'll hear that they have joined Siwelele. And we're looking forward to make sure that we have a strong team that can compete, Braro.
Realistically, though, I mean, for a new formation in inverted commas, and very briefly here, Coach, where would you say Siwelele come match day 30 would finish?
Definitely won't be number 15 or 14. Definitely. I can put that one. We'll do better than what we did last season. That's for sure.
You are 100% sure of that?
200% sure, Rob. 200.
And you will still be the coach?
I'll still be the coach, Rob. I think one day, I know you are good with invites. You'll invite my chairman one day or my CEO. Don't ask me how many years they have given me. Then that will say, okay, you're still the coach, because what they're going to tell you, I think, is the first in the country. So I'm happy, Rob. It will definitely be me.
A 10-year contract?
Rob, invite them. It's always nice to get it from my superiors. What I can tell you is I'm very happy. I'll stay for long at Siwelele. I'll grow with this baby, and we're going to make sure that this baby grows very well and it's been taken care of, because everything, Rob, that has been put in here, it points to the future of this team, and there are a lot of things that you'll hear, Rob. I'm very excited, but that I can tell you that call my CEO and call my chairman. I can tell you I'll be here for long.
Jeez, it sounds like your salsa crunch has been sorted out there, Coach Siama. You know what? I'm going to bring you back. Let's have a football chat. Hopefully not a chat with Academy bad news like we had today. I will definitely have you back in studio. Shanola Siama, newly appointed Siwela FC coach. Thank you so much, Baba. And again, my apologies for the time.
Thank you, Brother Rob. Thank you. Regardless, no matter 2 minutes or a minute, it's always nice to step in this studio. And last time I was here, you were showering me with your blessings, and look at now. So, thank you, Brother Rob. You'll never,
lifetime contract.
Will never. Yes, Brother Rob. Definitely, the invite will come.
The show is probably brought to you by Hollywood Bets. Catch you again tomorrow.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947.